heard Victoria Coates say we could be about to strike after the president said, I think it's over with regard to the ceasefire. So you are our military expert. What do we strike and when do we strike?
Absolutely. And talk about a strong showing at the NATO summit. If Trump can hold his allies accountable, and most humans don't like accountability, then he'll hold Iran accountable. So the 80 strikes were devastating and predominantly military targets. Now, the question is, what is Iran's response? And Trump will wait for that. If they respond with force, again, look at critical infrastructure. If we can turn out their power permanently, while that's tragic for the Persian people, their ability to communicate will be dead. So I would be interested to see if he goes after critical infrastructure. But guys, I gotta say this, the most historic NATO summit possibly in our lifetimes. Trump is ultimately trying to make NATO dangerous again. And he showed up demanding receipts, and ultimately our NATO allies are listening. He's saying, show me the money, but ultimately he wants to see the combat power. Show me the long-range missiles. Show me the air defense batteries. Show me the artillery shells. Show me the ability to shoot, move, communicate, fly, defend, and sustain. And ultimately he wants to see results, not just spending.
Yeah, and the reason all of this is happening, Mike, is because Iran keeps on attacking ships that don't go through their approved lanes.
Yeah,
and in doing so, it feels like the Iranians are not taking the president seriously. And they've said as much in saying that they think that the President Trump is more interested in ending this war and coming to a negotiated settlement to make gas prices go down to a more normal level. But do they think that, or should they think that at their own peril?
47 years would tell us different. They just, as Trump, in Trump's words, they just don't learn. We knew this, and nobody can defend or say that President Trump didn't give diplomacy oxygen. But he's come to the point, and you saw it with a rather just realistic realization that, guys, Iran is not going to change their pattern anytime soon. We need to end this regime, and there is no other way than by force. This region understands one thing, and that is power. And Trump is about to show them what that looks like. Our strikes to this point have been devastating. We've crippled their economy. Their military has been decimated, but they are not going to change their ways anytime soon. And I think this ceasefire is dead. It should have been dead a month or two ago. But it is time, and I foresee the military moving to do big things against Iran.
As we await the leader of NATO, Secretary General Mark Rutte's comments, it looked, and he is speaking now, we are going to listen in. Stand by.
Huge and big, and we do realize what the impact is on Ankara.
It appears and you can tell by that we have lost the feed while they try to get the camera back working as well as the audio. Mike, I believe we still have you here. Strewn throughout the president's press conference there at the beginning of our show, he did mention that common refrain that he's been saying now for upwards of 10 years. We are there for NATO. They are not there for us. Mike, in light of the fact that you have all of these NATO leaders in one room following the president's comments from earlier this morning, do you think now NATO helps the United States with the war in Iran, which, to our earlier discussion, seems like it's about to pick up again?
This could be the galvanizing moment where they get involved, as well as the Gulf partners. Hey, guys, ultimately what Trump has been doing here, no other president has had the courage. The free ride era is over. America is tired of paying first, fighting first, and then getting thanked later. It was a feckless response, and it was very strategic stepping into this NATO summit by many of our European allies. They should have been there for us as we've been there for them in the past. But again, there are positive indications here. European or NATO and Canada spending is up 20% in near real terms in 2025. But ultimately, we've got to see the ability to not only defend, but go on the offensive. The European allies in NATO have too long been in a defensive mindset posture. And we've seen what Ukraine has done. And that has changed warfare. That is going to change their spending, and it's going to move NATO in a good direction. But Trump was never serious about leaving NATO. It was about accountability, and partners have to hold one another accountable to bear the load that the United States has been shouldering for so many years, decades. And again, the first president to step in and actually bring receipts, demand receipts of our NATO partners, and have them step up with 5% of their GDP on defense spending. We are seeing indications and we are seeing results. It is going to be a different alliance. And here's one that people miss. Trump was never going to leave NATO, because if you leave NATO, what does that do? It opens the door for China's involvement in Europe, and he was never going to allow that to happen.
Retired Navy SEAL and host of the Everyday Warrior podcast.